right, here we are next morning. Just want to give you guys a preview of what's to come.
Welcome back, guys. We finished the hold downs for the 60 in the shape of the stripe. Everything pointing to the front.
Kind of wanted to mimic the little, some people call it airplane molding on the side of the car, with this in the back and then kind of a rounded point to the front with hidden bolts. We had to use a special wrench, but the bolts are right here.
Show the other side.
So this is a similar design, right? We use this on the 68. I think we like it so much, we're just gonna use it on all the cars.
Yeah,
Probably, yep.
and just bolt slides in, and then you have a little access right here to tighten it.
And it'll keep the mount nice and clean.
Another way you could do this is probably put the alternator inside and just let it hang down. Weld a nut in there and then just do the alternator from the bottom.
So there's nothing on the side.
So you don't have to do no cutout, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Still sounds like a lot of work, man.
But then that means you gotta have this the alternator before you even sit this down.
Right.
It's too much work.
So anyways, man, 6 batteries, 2 solenoid banks on each side, grounds right here, 4 pump mount.
Little zip ties.
Oh, we put some nuts on the bottom for some zip ties for when it comes time to wire. And then we have our little brackets, our little hinge brackets for the bulkhead.
They just zip tied on there. That's not where they go.
Just so they don't get lost in powder coat. But it's ready to go.
We're gonna get powder coated, then paint it.
Yeah, we're gonna get it powder coated, whatever the cheapest color is, maybe white. That way the green will cover it real easy. I don't have much epoxy left.
Or whatever they're doing that day.
Sure. The cheapest powder coat, because we're gonna paint on top of it. So hopefully next weekend. Next weekend I'll be painting, or maybe if it's done sooner, we'll see. Whatever they're doing that day.
And the back of the, show them the back of the pumps.
The accumulators?
No, the
lights? Yeah, this one.
When we were in LA, one of the cars out there had some of these
Little spikes in it.
Yeah, look, it just covers that go on the boat.
It's pretty nice.
Also pointing to the front of the car. I think he got them from a truck shop, 18-wheeler shop.
Yeah, man, so bring you guys back once I get ready to spray this thing, but we're gonna have it powder coated first. They're gonna take care of all the rust. They're gonna sandblast it, powder coat, then we're gonna paint on top of that, and I'll explain that process when we get ready to do it.
All right, we're back. It's been a week. We got the rack back from powder coat. They did a really good job. Unfortunately, I scuffed it all up, and I'm gonna paint over the powder coat. All I did was use a gray Scotch-Brite, which I believe is equivalent to like 800. Just went over the areas you're mainly going to see. I didn't really scuff down in here where the batteries sit. There's no point. I did order these little end caps on Amazon for like furniture, but they pop in that box tubing and kind of finish it off. Seems like 25 cents each. Got the hole down. We did have a pinhole that I had to use a little bit of spot putty. We got these 4 motor bands. I'm going to be painting these. These are aluminum machined. Actually used some some stickers for the shirts and hoodies that I sell, and that covered up the area real nice. Over here we have the hinge bracket cover, trunk hinge. Had those for a while. We also have the slow downs. I'm going to be painting these threads green just because they're kind of tarnished. And lastly, we have the bulkhead trunk hinge brackets. So, got this whole contraption hung up on both racks here. Hopefully we get this thing done. Also put these little end caps here. Kind of just to finish it off, even though you don't even see the backside, but at least it makes you feel good. Man, I was really scraping the barrel on my epoxy. I didn't think I had any, but I was able to scrape about 2 ounces out of the gallon. Not even, more like 1 ounce and 3/4. Stretched it with reducer and stretched it with activator. And so I got about 5 ounces, 6 ounces. And really what I mixed it up for was these motor bands. And then I'm gonna hit those first. And then, you know, on the rack, whatever areas you see. I don't think I have enough to coat everything. So mainly the motor bands, because I don't want to spray base coat just over machined aluminum. I did scuff the aluminum with the same Scotch-Brite. So I'm gonna be using my orange cap by water. Probably sprayed about 15 psi. I'm gonna hone in the fan. So not a full fan, kind of a half fan, because we only want to focus on the area we're spraying. There's no point in wide open fan and it's all going to waste, especially when you only got 5 ounces. So anyways, it is pretty mild, 88 degrees, 38% humidity. It feels great outside. Get these things coated in epoxy. We're going to epoxy them, we're going to base them, and we're going to clear them all within the next 2 hours. Bring you guys back once I got them in epoxy. All right, here we are, 6 ounces later. Like I say, I focus mainly on the motor bands. Not so much on the back of the rack. A little bit on these. Just a real light coat. Hardly, not even a full coat. Kind of dusted it on. But the front of the rack, the area that you see, is where I spent most of my time. Do have a little imperfection right there. But other than that, like I say, man, the powder coat job, the sandblast job kind of cleaned up everything for me. They charged me $150. 150 bucks, which that ain't bad, considering that some of that steel was like maybe 10 years old in the back, rusted up pretty good, and came back like brand new. So I'd rather pay the $150 than spend all day trying to clean up that metal. Could have took it somewhere and they powder coated the color that I'm actually painting it, but I mean, if I have the paint and the materials, why not do that and save a little bit? So any custom color, I'm sure, is more money than just gloss black. Anyways, I mixed up 12 ounces of base coat. It's the same color as we painted the car, the same paint. Got about that much left. About that much. Using the same gun. Pretty much the same settings. 12 ounces should get us where we need to be. If not, I can mix up more, but I think 12 will get it. So let me get these things in the first coat, bring you guys back. All right, here we are, 2 coats of base coat. Went pretty good. Went 2 coats on areas that show and just 1 coat inside the battery boxes, 1 heavy coat. These things were kind of tricky. Spray, but was able to get it. Mixed up just enough paint. So we're on the home stretch now. I like the end caps. Came out pretty clean. I didn't even scuff those. I just popped them in because don't plan on taking them out. I'm going to be spraying this SPI Euro. Mixes 4:1 to 1. And I think I'm just going to spray 1 heavy coat. 1 coat and call it good. Once this thing is in the trunk, it's not moving. none of these parts are moving once they're in, so. One coat, that way it dries faster also, because I gotta get it off this rack by this evening. So, one coat probably makes up about, I don't know, 12 ounces or so, 12 to 15. Anyways, when we get to mixing, I'm gonna spray with the same gun. I'm gonna up the PSI to about 25. Same gun for the whole job. So I'll bring you guys back once it's coated. All right, here we are. One coat of the Euro. I mixed up 12 ounces. I had a little bit left over. So wasted a couple ounces, but whatever. Didn't really focus on the inside where the batteries go. Didn't really focus over here. Mainly the tops of the hold downs. This area right here is where you see everything. And really you don't see much of it. So that's a wrap on the paint. I'm completely out of epoxy, but I don't have anything left to paint on this car as of right now. Everything is done. So I think that's going to wrap up this little part. The process was we built the rack with some scrap stuff from the back. Got it sandblasted, powder coated, scuffed it with the gray Scotch-Brite. Turn this off here. Sprayed a reduced coat of epoxy as a sealer, just for something to grab onto, and then 2 coats of base, 1 coat of clear, and it should last a really long time because it's painted on top of powder coat. So hope you guys enjoy this little episode, man. All in all, I think I got, you know, maybe $250 in materials on this rack, maybe $300 if you count the paint. Which, considering it's painted, that's kind of a big deal. Most people will just rattle can it inside the trunk. I'm going to go a little bit extra. I really love these end caps right here. That was a cheap fix. Capped it off nice. Didn't have to weld it, just pop them right on. We did get the rack in. It dried enough yesterday to handle it and put it in. Once it's in, it ain't coming out, although it can. It's bolt-in. We got the motor bands on the motors. Got them unmasked. All they do is just kind of set in place with a set screw. Got the slow downs back on. The threads painted. Got the solenoids on. I cleaned up all the paint and powder coat so we get a good ground on the solenoids. I also did a little bit. We did a little bit on the where the blocks meet the rack, just to get a good ground. We got the bulkhead brackets in place loosely. Man, we got really lucky. Oh, also got the hinge covers in. If you can get that. We got really lucky yesterday. Almost turned into a big fail. When we built this rack with this pump here, we wanted them elevated, so we wanted them to mimic the shape of the wings, so step up, and then also with the bulkhead step up. So when we were making this rack in the trunk, we were only concerned with, first off, how much space do we have, and how close are we to the battery, and how close are we to the hinge. And we didn't even take into consideration how high we are from hitting the trunk lid, the deck lid, which is this right here. Meets up about right here, and it has less than a 1/4 inch of clearance on both of them. Really close, man. Got lucky. Clearance is clearance, so it counts. And these things, they don't move around once they're bolted in, so we're good with that. And I actually like it because it's kind of floating, you know, real high, which is what we were going after. The bulkhead brackets, I'm gonna have to do a 90, because as you can see, it would be a real close bend to get to that pressure right there. I don't know that that's doable. So I actually ordered some 90s. I got one here and bought them on eBay for $4 each, and they're advertised as 1/2 inch. Well, that's great, but they're not 1/2 inch. They're more like 3/4, so they don't work. So I swear if it ain't one thing, it's another with these cars. So I just ordered four 90s, so the bulkheads are going to come straight down, and then I can hook them up from there to the pressure. It's got the accumulators on as well. So this is it. This is it. The rack is in. It's not coming out. It's going to take a process to actually wire this up and get this functional. It's going to be I got to figure out my method, because you can't really get the batteries in once the pumps are in. So the batteries got to go first. But with the batteries in, you kind of really can't run the wires. So I'm going to run all my wiring and then install the batteries. Or actually I think what I'm going to do, I'm thinking out loud here, is I'm going to make the pressures to meet the bulkheads first. So these two pumps got to come out so that I can get in there and work. So it's going to be a process to make all this fit and function, because it's such a tight fit. But that's it. That's it. We painted over powder coat. It was super easy. You guys just watched the video, and man, it just makes the work a lot cleaner versus sitting there wire wheeling rusted metal and sanding it and all that. And man, just have it sandblasted. Could have just had it sandblasted, but why not have them coated? That way all you gotta do is scuff it and go straight to sealer or straight to base. Real easy process. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think the next one is probably going to be when I hardline the pressures. You guys seen me do it before, but this one's going to be a little special because it's such a tight fit. So it's going to take some thought process. Bring you guys back once we get there. Y'all, thanks for watching, and y'all stay tuned for more work.